our GRCC virtual event. And for that matter, the first ever GRCC virtual happy hour. Woo! I'm so excited about today and so looking forward to the next hour that we get to spend with you all. This is our first ever virtual event. We're honoring Jerry and Jan Benham for 41 consecutive years of giving. And this is the first time we've awarded the Armen Oumedian Consecutive Giving Award, which for me is very cool that we get to do it in this virtual environment, because Armen has a special place in the heart of everyone at GRCC, and in particular in my heart. And for me, Armen always said, what's your next big thing? Innovation was at the core of everything that he did, and philanthropy was in the heart of everything that he did. So this is a really cool combination of philanthropy and innovation that I think Armen would really have enjoyed. And I feel like he's with us today and smiling, and that beautiful smile and that wonderful laugh. We're pretty blessed today as well, because joining us within this virtual event is Dan Oumedian and others from the Armen Oumedian family. So we're so thankful to have you here, and it's really great for you to be a part of this inaugural event. And we are blessed to have your family as part of our GRCC Foundation forever. So thanks very much for that. It's really great to have you here. So for those of you that may not know about virtual events, what I'll just give you a little bit of housekeeping items, in that you have the ability to interact with us today as part of this event through the chat feature. So feel free to put any comments you would like out there, questions, whatever. We have a staff person that will interact with you, and Jerry and Jan will be able to see what those comments and things are as we go through, but also as the event will be recorded, they'll be able to watch that later and see those. So feel free to put any comments you'd like in there. I'm sure they'd appreciate reading them later. So now, as we get ready to focus on happy hour, I am very happy to take and turn this over to Jan and Jerry Benham in their kitchen, where they're going to make us a sangria and a Diablo dip. If you'd all like to work with them and join along, you've got the recipes in your email this morning again. So you have those, feel free to do that. But let's go ahead and get into Jerry and Jan's kitchen.
Hey everyone, so glad you could join us today. This is different for us. We finally, after 71 years, I got my own food show. At this point, Jan's going to go over and handle the camera so it doesn't slide off the counter.
I'm always on cleanup.
And I'm going to put together the sangria that we've enjoyed quite immensely from actually the product, and I mentioned this in the thing text, that the sangria mix comes from Olive Garden, and you can purchase it there. This is probably, well, we purchased 7 bottles, but it's a great mix. The recipe's right on the bottle. Multiply it as much as you want. I did a single recipe for myself, and I did one for Jan, so that we'll be able to toast with you. But it's very simple. It's an ounce of water, 1 ounce. It's an ounce of the sangria mix. Oops, no mistakes. Slide, people. 4 ounces of your favorite wine, and we use a Lambrusco over ice. A little garnish to go into it, and it's ready to rip. I've been practicing all week. I've got it down. And I've made that for 50 people, and I've made it for the 2 of us. So you just multiply your recipe out. It's a great, great product. The Mount Diablo dip, 40 some years ago when I started with community college and culinary arts program, it was one of the things that we would make for a lot of the events there at the college. And the beauty of this thing is you can make it as big or as small as you want. And back in the day, we would have Christmas in July here. I one time covered our dining room table with foil and saran wrap, and in the center of the table was this huge mass of avocados, and built it up, put chips on the table, and people just walked around the table and ate it. So today I'm just going to do a small one. Avocados, if you want to use fresh avocados, you can. There's a lot of avocado product out there, guacamole product out there. So you basically start out with a base of avocado. My understanding is, this is Monte Avalo, if you go online, you'll find it. It's a mountain in California. Supposedly the green is the base of the mountain, the green grass and whatever. And on that, I don't know what the next two colors represent. All I could think of is that they're rocks. So after that, the sour cream and taco mixture is your own taste. A lot of people like this really, really strong. Others a little bit more mild. So you start with your base and you add in your sour cream and taco mix. And you want to stay away from the edge. So you got green showing all the way around. And that's your first base. Then the next section is your cheese. And you get a nice big old glump right in the middle. And I kind of push as I go, because you can see it's building up. Mr. G. Darlow, if you're with us today, I didn't get buku tomatoes, but I've got some diced tomatoes, and he knows that joke. Put those tomatoes right in the center of there. And then you go with the green onions. I use a little bit of the green stem also. That goes right on top of your tomatoes. And you just keep building this mountain. And the black olives go on top of that, kind of to represent the rocks. I guess the scallions represent the trees. And on top of all of that, you put a dollop of sour cream, which is to represent the snow on top of the mountain. So the whole idea with this is that you want to take and eat this starting at the base and with your chips. You come in, get some avocado, come right up the side of the mountain, get a little bit of everything on your chip, and you go, bon appetit. On that note, I probably didn't take all my allotted time because I'm that good. And Kathy, can we turn it over to you at this point?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that is pretty impressive. And I do know that Bob Garlow is watching. So he is, he did get the joke. I'm certain of it. So thank you very much for that. That looks amazing. So now that we have our dip and we have our sangria, we might as well take a moment and watch a pretty awesome video about Jerry and Jan.
We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. These are words that many of us aspire to, but few can say that they have dedicated much of their life to. When it comes to individuals like Jerry and Jan Benham, they are considered the few.
Oh no.
I was a student here in '68 through '70 and worked for the Grand Rapids Public Schools and the college for another 37 years.
Jerry and Jan have dedicated 41 years of giving to the Grand Rapids Community Foundation and supporting the students of Grand Rapids Community College. The Armen Oumedian Consecutive Giving Award was created to honor the life and legacy of our dear friend Armen Oumedian, a proud GRJC distinguished alumnus. Armen was a steadfast supporter of the GRCC Foundation through innovation awards and several student scholarship funds. Armen and the Oumedian family understood the importance of a college education and dedicated significant resources to ensuring student success by removing financial barriers for students. The Oumedian family's dedication to the success of GRCC students will be felt for years and years to come. We are proud to honor Armen and the Oumedian family legacy by naming this award in his memory. Recipients of the Armen Oumedian Consecutive Giving Award, like Armen and the Oumedian family legacy, will have dedicated much of their lives to giving back to others. It all started back in 1979. No, we aren't talking about how many times Jerry and Jan have been to Las Vegas. And no, we aren't talking about how many times Jan has seen the band Chicago. This is when the Benhams started giving to the GRCC Foundation. That is 41 years of giving consecutively to the GRCC Foundation. Giving consecutively to support our students' needs, giving consecutively to remove financial barriers for our students. There is not a single individual donor within our organization who has done this longer. That is why we are proud to recognize Jerry and Jan as the first recipients of the Armen Oumedian Consecutive Giving Award.
Here we are in the Alger neighborhood. We're really excited. We're getting ready to surprise Jerry and Jan Benham with the Armen Oumedian Consecutive Giving Award. Let's go. I am very happy to be here today to present you with the Armen Oumedian Consecutive Giving Award. We are so grateful for you and so thankful for you, and we love you so very much. And I just wanted to present you with the award and say thank you, and I wish we could hug.
Jerry started at GRJC in 1980 as the Culinary Arts Supply Room Clerk and retired in 2001 as the GRCC Food Service Director. In between those years, Jerry served as the GRJC Culinary Arts Storeroom Manager and the GRCC Coordinator of Food Service. Even after Jerry retired, he was rehired part-time in 2001 by Follett as GRCC Bookstore Clerk and then GRCC Bookstore Senior Accounting Clerk until 2011. Jerry also worked for GRPS for 10 years before transferring to GRJC. And let's not forget Jerry's part-time gig as Santa at the GRCC Employee Holiday Breakfast.
I can hear them.
Jan started at GRJC in 1978 as the Executive Secretary to the Executive Vice President and retired in 2004 as the GRCC Human Resources Generalist working with Meet and Confer employees. In between those years, Jan served as the Administrative Assistant to the Executive Vice President, Supervisor of Personnel, working with full-time faculty, and Assistant Director of Human Resources. After Jan retired, she was rehired part-time in 2005 as Human Resources Generalist for Adjunct Faculty and then Coordinator for Contingency Employment until 2013. Jan also worked for GRPS for 8 years before transferring to GRJC. Started in 1999, Jerry and Jan established a scholarship with the GRCC Foundation to support student-led service and engagement initiatives. Annually, an award is given to a student who has shown leadership in service and civic engagement. This award is presented at the annual Student Leadership Banquet.
I'm genuinely honored to receive this award, but more than that, I'm grateful we have people like you two supporting GRCC students like me. I didn't do the things I did because I wanted an award or I was looking forward to one. It may have crossed my mind, but it wasn't something I really thought possible for myself. This awards encouraged me to continue to pursue similar efforts at the University of Michigan next fall. COVID permitting, of course, but nothing could change my view that the impacts my team and I have made and the hours we have put in were well worth it. but your gift has reinforced to me that I'm heading in the right path. So yeah, I can't thank you enough, as that is the real gift you gave me.
In 2012, when GRCC established the Student Food Pantry, Jerry and Jan stepped up once again and designated a portion of their scholarship fund to meet the needs of students facing food insecurities with an annual commitment designated to the Student Food Pantry budget. It's people like Jerry and Jan that see a need and find a way to meet that need, and that is what they have done for 41 years. Jerry and Jan's dedication to GRCC, the foundation, and most importantly our students, is what makes us proud to recognize them in this way, the first recipients of the Armen Oumedian Consecutive Giving Award. We know Armen would be so proud that this award is going to such a generous, dedicated, and deserving couple. Congratulations, Jerry and Jan.
But I got a little surprise for you. It's me, Jerry Benham.
Good.
Is that better?
That's much better.
Okay. We leave now?
Well, that was an awesome video. And now I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Pink and let him do a toast. Since we have this wonderful sangria that we've made, let's toast Jan and Jerry.
Wow, good afternoon, Jan and Jerry, good afternoon. And good afternoon to all of you who are out there, my wife Lori with me this afternoon on what just a few seconds ago turned into a sunny afternoon, but it's been on and off. First of all, just a big thank you to the Oumedian family and all the history of the Oumedian family and GRJC and GRCC. As Kathy mentioned, I have great memories of sitting at Sundance Grill having breakfast with Armen on several occasions, and hearing Armen talk about not only what GRJC meant to him, but what GRCC means to him. And as Kathy said, that ever-present challenge of what he got going next. And it's so good to have his family. It's good to have you guys on this great occasion today, and great to have such a legacy in Armen and the Oumedian family, and now with this Armen Oumedian Consecutive Giving Award. So thank you for that. And Jerry and Jan, boy, how cool is this? I think I was looking at the video, and I can tell you probably the first time in history, these last 2 months, probably the most in history of greetings of people and recognizing people from behind masks that I've ever seen in any time in my lifetime. But the mask doesn't take away from the importance of us being able to recognize you today. 41 years of making a difference in the lives of GRCC and GRJC students. That's almost half the life of this institution. That's an incredible testament to your dedication, not just to the college, but your dedication to students, because I know that's where your heart is. Your heart is with students. And that's what is so important in this at our institution, because so many of our students need that level of support that a scholarship brings. For many of them, it's what finishes out their education. For many of them, it's what gets them over the hump to be able to complete a certificate or a degree at our institution. And it's because of people like you that have the history of giving to this institution that has made such a huge difference. I say on behalf of the rest of the GRCC family, because you're part of that family, I say from the rest of us, thank you. And we appreciate that. I can tell you that my wife, I've been on all these virtual meetings today, and to be here in the house and to smell and watch her fix that Diablo dip. And I haven't been able to eat it yet till now. It's amazing. I'm still talking because it's sitting right here in front of me. But I wanted to, before I dip into that, I wanted to ask everybody on this call to grab your glass as we offer a toast to Jerry and Jan for 41 years of consecutive giving to this institution. Here's to you, and here's to 41 more.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
That is tasty too, by the way, Jerry. Awesome job. Now I will give it over to Aaron Van Edgeman to go ahead and complete, to finish out what we're doing today. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pink. Well, good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is enjoying their sangria and dip. But for those of you that don't know me, as Dr. Pink said, my name is Erin Van Egman, and I have the pleasure of serving as the Associate Director of College Advancement in the Foundation. But for this portion of the event, we are going to have a little fun with Jerry and Jan and go down memory lane. As most of you know, when we do these types of events, where we honor individuals, as part of the video portion of the program, we usually include a little interview of the recipients. Well, we purposely left that out of the video that you just saw so we could do that part with all of you. We wanted to take a walk down memory lane together with Jerry and Jan live. So I have some burning questions to ask Jerry and Jan. So Jerry and Jan, are you ready for this?
Let me get another drink.
That's fine. It looks like you made some. So I'm going to start out with an easy one for you. You have some special people that have joined us today for this live event. Would you like to give them a little shout out? I know we can't see them, but I know they are here. In fact, I'm watching a lot of the comments here on the live, and there are a lot of people that have joined and are saying wonderful things about you. But would you like to give those people that have joined us, some of those special people, would you like to give them a little shout out and tell us who they are?
Well, sure. I know our daughters, our three daughters are watching, Terry, Julie, and Jessie, as well as our grandkids, Justin and Alyssa and Carmen, and lots of other family members and some really good friends and colleagues.
Wonderful. And I know we saw a lot of them in some of the pictures in the video too. So,
Right.
yeah. So
I have just a couple I would like to mention too.
Where are you going to start?
Okay.
yeah.
You know, special to Jan and I. It doesn't make any difference here if you're a friend or family or coworker. We've been so blessed with having people around us that care about us, and it's just an honor to have all of you with us today. I will say that my wife's aunt and uncle live in Colorado Springs, and we've been contributing with them for many years to the Good News Jail and Prison Ministry. And Chaplain Dan, love you guys. Keep up the good work, and we'll keep up supporting you. We know our neighbors are watching because they threatened to see if we really had pants on today, and we do. We got dressed, but we can't say enough. We know the love that's there, and we do appreciate it. Thank you.
Great.
No.
Well, we know as we're planning this event, we got a lot of comments about the love that people have for you. So, and you'll get to see that too as you view the video and those that are writing in and sharing that love too. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, what does it mean to you both to be the first recipients of the Armen Oumedian Consecutive Giving Award?
Oh, yeah, we have been contributing to the college, obviously 41 years, but it hasn't always been with our scholarship necessarily. We were part of the $1 Million faculty founded by Keith Longberg a long time ago. And so we're very much aware of the importance of all of this. But to be the first recipients is, it's an honor. And when you called and told us about this award, we were sitting in the car in a grocery store parking lot. And after we hung up, it was like, are you kidding? What the heck is this? Because we never really thought about the length of time that we've been doing it. So it's really, really an honor, very special.
Actually, the young man that received our award this year said it all. He didn't do what he did to be recognized or honored. He did it because he wanted to do something. And giving and contributing, if it's time or money, you know, you get something out of what you're doing, and you don't expect to be awarded. And that day, if I'd have had my Lambrusco stuff, I probably sat in the car and drank it because we were just blown away. It's like, is this really happening to us? You know, and so when you do things like giving, and we are firm believers of education, and we have been right from the elementary system with our children and the college, and we've always supported education, and we know the importance of it. So our estate plan is set up. We support our kids. My wife supports her cats that she volunteers for, and we support the college. So we got the kids, the cats, and the college covered when we're gone, folks. But other than that, it's an honor. In the Oumedian family, I want to thank you very much for joining us today. Armen was just, we modeled after him. You know, we all should model after him.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how much. Every penny counts, you know, so just do it. Okay, that's done. I've said my piece.
And we thank you. We can't thank you enough. And we know, as we've said, Armen would be so proud to know that you are the first recipient. So we thank you.
Honor.
Yeah. Next question. So why was it important for you to start a scholarship in the foundation? As we heard in the video, you have a scholarship named. So why was it important for you to actually start a scholarship fund?
We received the Excellence in Education Award years ago, and first couple to receive it. And we received $1,000. And so the college matched that, and we decided rather than keep the money, that we would do something good with it. We put it into a scholarship fund under our name. It was to support service learning projects. Two of our girls had participated in that. One went to New York and the other one, San Antonio, Texas, to help with projects. And so that's what it was for initially. Then instructors are able to apply for it or to do projects with their students, for example, to build a ramp at a house that had a wheelchair, that kind of thing. And eventually, over the years, it evolved into a student leadership award, as Anders had received, and also to support the food bank. So we've evolved with the times, basically, as the need has progressed.
With that service learning one, when we first started it, it was because our daughters, being involved with that, had friends that couldn't go because they couldn't come up with the money to go on the trips. So we said, let's get the scholarship there. And if somebody really wants to go do good, let them apply for the scholarship. So that's how it really started. Julie and Jesse both going on service learning ventures. And like Jan said, it evolved from there. The food bank does my heart good, you know, and for the years that we worked, I used to take huge amounts of canned chicken to work and leave it there because that's one of the harder meats to get. Everybody wants to get tuna fish, but the funds help them purchase what they need now. So percentage of that money going into that. And I know you have several families that are from the college using that. So can't thank you enough for that.
Yeah, and a huge need right now, especially. So
exactly.
A majority, as we heard in the video as well, a majority of both of your careers were at GRCC. What was your favorite part about that for each of you?
Well, I think for me, probably it was more in the beginning. Probably the 80s were a great decade, you know, for me. They were really formative years, and we knew all the staff members. You knew their phone numbers, their extensions. Computers were just into being, and we had it at our desk for the first time. It was just a simpler time, basically. And it never really felt like work. It was fun with what we were doing. And I think that was probably the best of times for me. Then we separated from the public schools, and you know, that was kind of bittersweet because we came from there. We had a lot of friends still working there, but we created our own departments for human resources and payroll and all sorts of offices that we didn't have before. So it was good.
Yeah.
I had a dream come true with community college or junior college at the time because I've always dabbled in food. I used to do soup days for the K-12 system when she worked upstairs. I was a custodian to begin with and went into special ed when mandatory education came into being, I did that. I worked in the gifted talented program out at CA Frost. I went back to custodial, and for 10 years, I moved around within the system doing things. And when the grant came through the community college, or GRCC, junior college, I interviewed with Bob Garlow, and the rest is history with that. We talk about friendship and respect for each other. It's there. In my life, got to do all the things I wanted to do as a person, build a restaurant, recipes, run a restaurant, do the things. And through Bob and I, you see what we built there at the community college. And it was just a natural thing. And I never got up and didn't want to go to work. If you have to hate going to work, you're not in the job you should be doing, because that was never that way for me, ever.
It's amazing.
Okay, one time, but no.
Just one day.
Just one.
What was your famous signature line?
Yours and food.
Yep.
Yours and food.
I bet a lot of people on this on the live will remember that. Yours and food. I remember that. In fact, our email exchanges while planning this event, I remember you signing that, and I thought, I do remember that. Yep, yours.
And of course, in the beginning of this video, you could see how much I was into it. But I didn't know who the person was 160 pounds ago. So yeah, I was.
Oh, and how about, what was one of your most memorable times from GRCC?
You want to start?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the most memorable, but I know when we, as I mentioned, we separated from GRPS, that was an interesting time, difficult, but exciting at the same time. We worked with such great people, so many. And funny thing is, we distributed paychecks to all of the college staff in the president's office. Not anymore, certainly, but this was long before we had direct deposit. They wouldn't even mail checks home. So everybody had to come in. And it was nice because it gave us an opportunity to put names with faces and get to really know people. So, you know, that was kind of memorable because when it went, that was it, it was over. But we worked with a lot of wonderful people, you know, starting from my first boss there, Corky Arengard, all the way through Kathy Kubiak and several in between, and all wonderful people.
I could go on for probably 5 hours because being in the position of being with food, we did a lot of fun things. And of course, the celebration on the Grand, we were involved with that from the beginning. And I thought, how are we going to do this? Well, Bob and I and the rest of the staff was able to pull that off. We had the 75th largest cherry tort on the top of the ramp.
Oh, yeah.
I think one of my most memorable and one that I will always cherish is Project Angel Tree, when it started with Wood TV8 in the community back in the day. All the toys were brought to the college, and I was working with Salvation Army because we had been doing the Salvation Army Tree of Lights dinner, and then we ended up doing a pancake breakfast and different things. But John Schroeder with Salvation Army said, how would you like to do a kids' Christmas party? The kids that are going to get the Angel Tree gifts can come here, and you can throw a party out front, and we can have Santa in the back and all the gifts, and Wood TV will come down and help pass them out and all that. That's where it all started with Project Angel Tree. And so I played Santa.
Really?
My daughter played an elf, and my staff was all involved. But the neat thing was that college, the staff of that college, I put out a call after work, whenever you can come over, we need gifts wrapped. And we wrapped all the Project Angel Tree gifts in that multi-purpose room. And on that Saturday, the kids came, and it was a wonderful experience. And we did that for several years.
Wow.
Until it got so large. And of course, things had to change. But that was a great memory for me as being part of Grand Rapids Community College and what we did. The other memorable thing was when President Calkins asked us if we could make thousands of hot dogs to deliver to Houseman Field for the millage. And I must have been securing my job because I said, where are you? How many? And he told me, where are you? He said, I'm on the expressway. I said, make a quick left. And how are we going to do this? And the staff again from GRCC came through, and we packaged and fed thousands of hot dogs to the kids at Houseman Field. So I could go on with other events and things. And of course, the whole thing started with me as Santa. Are you going to ask me that question?
Mhm.
Is that after this question? Okay.
It's got to come up.
It's coming up.
Oh.
Yeah, it's coming up. Okay.
This is for somebody special.
Good. So there is another award at the college called the Jerry Benham Award. Tell us about that and why that was started.
That was back in 1989. And it was an out-of-body experience, kind of like this was in the car, because we had been doing a lot with the students in the student activity office. They used to go off campus every year to Canonsburg and do the student leadership banquets, and it got expensive. And working with Eli Lumpkins and Joyce Hoffman, hauling all this stuff out, I said, why don't you give me a chance to do this at the college? We can make this happen. And so working with Bob and the staff, we pulled that off. I remember the very first one. And donating time to students, clubs, and organizations. I was working there, and so if I spent a couple hours in the evening or did things on the weekend to support the clubs and organizations, it was really just helping and making sure that they were successful. And if it was an event they were pulling off, or something they needed, we were there. And so that's how it all came about. In the Student Congress decided that they wanted to honor me for doing the things I did in my job that I was already being rewarded for with a paycheck, but it's taking the time. And that again is another way that you can contribute and not cost you anything out of your pocket, supporting people in what they do.
Yeah.
And so that night of that banquet, they were going to give out some awards and stuff. And I was sitting in one of the chairs just in case there was any issues with anything. And all of a sudden they started talking, and I started thinking, who are they talking about? And then you realize it's you, and you blank out.
Yeah.
And I stood up, and my family was in the back, and I was at the podium, and I couldn't tell you a word I said. So that came about, but it's now being given for the last 31 years to a staff member that is voted on by the Student Congress as to someone who has went over and above to help them and make things happen and supporting them. So I've got a lot of people that have gotten that, and well-deserved by all of them.
Yeah, wonderful. So we have a little picture that has been resurrected. You'll be okay with it. It's okay.
Good, it's not showing.
So far, so good.
Yeah, right.
Oh, there you go.
Can you see it?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I've got one in the drawer.
Yeah.
I still get requests for those.
Do you?
I
Yes.
do.
People have
So,
worn them.
Jerry, can you explain to our audience what this is?
That was my going away present when I retired. Liz Timmer's daughter worked in a establishment that made stuff. And I said, I need something. I'd like everybody to have something with the retirement party that was thrown for me.
Yeah.
And so we came up with these can openers or jar openers. And of course the yours and food was my thing. And
Yeah.
so those, but I still get requests for it.
Well, people have been chatting about that on the live chat. So that was pulled up, and we wanted to share that with everyone. So
Great.
yes, so people still treasure that as well. So another question for you. You guys do something special to honor those that you have lost as it relates to your scholarship fund. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do?
Yeah, sure. Years and years ago, the foundation created a memorial envelope, and it was to be used, as a contribution. You put a check in, cash, whatever, to honor the memory of someone who passed. And we get a bunch of those. We get those all the time. And use them as needed. It goes into our scholarship, but it'd be a great thing for anybody who wants to donate to the college to use that way, rather than sending flowers or a plant or whatever. The family of the deceased receives something from the college that indicates that this has been made in their person's honor. And it just goes a little farther, I think, above and beyond. I think now probably that can be done online. You would know.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
rather
absolutely.
envelopes, but they're still around, so we're still using them.
Yep, absolutely.
The
Yeah.
comment from families and friends' families that we get, and I got a note today for one.
Oh.
They're blown away. They're honored that we would think of their loved one with a contribution, memorial contribution like that, into something that keeps on giving. Flowers are beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I love flowers, but they don't last. But when we make this contribution, we know that this is going to go on and on, either through a recipient who gets some of the money, or to the food bank that somebody gets something to eat. So that's the reason we went that way, and we have been doing it for a long time and continue to do it. And I think I convinced one of my family members to do it this past month when we lost a family member too. So I encourage everybody, if you want to do something different, you're going to help the family that's lost somebody with a nice memory, and you're going to put some money into an establishment or into a fund that can help with the student and also with the food bank. I think we have a passion or something for that. Can you tell?
You do, and it's unique, but it's also very meaningful too. So
Right.
Yeah. So this was referenced in the video, but Jerry, you used to spread holiday cheer each year at the staff holiday breakfast and dress up as Santa. So how did that start, and how many years did you end up doing that?
I want to say 28 at the college, at least 28 years we did that, because it started out with honoring the secretaries. We used to do a secretarial breakfast. And they said, let's do a Christmas one, and you can give out gifts to the secretaries. So I had 3 elves that were Rich Austin, Bob Partridge, and Bill Foster. And I've got a picture someplace in their 3 green coats standing next to Santa. And so we did that for quite a few years with the secretarial or the supports. Everybody's names change, but when it comes down to it, they were secretaries. So that's how it started there. And then when Project Angel Tree came in, I did it for years with that. And then my cousin Penny worked over at the preschool, and she said, we need a Santa Claus. And so I ended up going there, and I wasn't the greatest Santa Claus. And I used to have a lap. I didn't have a lap, so they said we're more on my knee. Well, then I kind of lost all that, so I had to use some padding. But then the holiday breakfast, it became a tradition.
Yes, it did.
And my staff coming up with some type of skit each time. We just enjoyed it. We loved it. It wasn't about food for us as much as it was entertainment and decor, And I remember the days that we had to cover the windows because staff would be trying to see what they were going to come into. That was fun. It was fun.
Well, it's something I remember, and many, many people remember that too. So yes, it's a good memory. So this is really my burning question for you. How many times have you both been to Vegas?
Should I start there?
Oh, go for it.
You know what's really sad? We really do know.
That's why I'm asking.
You know what's really sad? The first time we went, it was only $129 round trip. That tells you how far back it goes. Actually, we started going in 1975, and I don't know why I kept track, but it was kind of like the airfare thing. And we would go out to Chicago, but for $129. And then we had a 6-pack one time. And so 6 of us from the college went. And, but I just celebrated my 70th birthday this past April. And my daughter celebrated her 40th birthday, Jessie. So she said, let's go spend 110 years in Vegas. And so we did that. And that was my 70th and Jan's 70th trip to Vegas last April.
Last April.
I'm 71 now. How did that happen? Anyway, when we
Yeah.
but we did make it in February this year, just before everything broke loose. And so that was 71. So we've been there 71 times and very proud of it.
Yes. So if anyone needs
We
travel,
have consecutively went.
Yeah.
We are consecutive people.
Mhm.
there you go. There you go. Yes. Wonderful. Well, that was one of my burning questions. So here's another one. Jan, I understand you love the band Chicago and the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
How many times have you seen them?
Well, the Beatles, not when they were all together, of course, but I was 13 years old when they came onto the scene. So that was my band and continued that way. And our poor daughters had put up with listening to that music growing. But I think they still like it somewhat. The thing with Chicago, oddly enough, one of our fellow retirees, Julie Johnson, sold us tickets to go see the band along with the Beach Boys. And we didn't know where the seats were. She didn't know, but we took them and thought, well, this is good because we love their music. And they ended up being front row center. And there's nothing quite like a front row experience, although I've repeated it many times since then. I lost count. This is really sad to say, but I've lost count once I hit 100 times. It might be once a year. It might have been as many as 18 times in a year because they would play Vegas and then you get to see them 4, 5, 6 nights in a row.
Or 8.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard habit to break. What can I say? But yeah. Anyway, and I turned Kathy Kubiak onto the group as well. So we had some fun in Vegas.
I would dare say she's contributed more to the band than she has to the college.
Ooh, to the scholarship. Thanks a lot, honey.
Our cheek.
Oops.
I better move this along here.
Move along. Next question.
Yes. And this is our last one down Benham memory lane here.
Okay.
You guys been passing the time during the shelter in place?
Well, some of it's kind of stayed the same for us. We spend a lot of time at home. I do volunteer at Crash's Landing, an Oak Hill cat shelter. Have to put in a plug for them. So I go there 2 mornings a week. But there's been a lot of cleaning, some of it just not really necessary, and a lot of cooking on his part.
I retired.
Some good dinners. We kind of forgot about certain things. He's been making a lot.
You know, I can't go without telling you this, but people ask that question, how are you doing? Jan and I have been together 55 years.
Oh,
And this August 14th, we'll be married 50 years. And so it's like, it's the same.
Yeah, more the same.
The only thing is we're saving money. We can't go to the casino.
True.
You know? We're not going out to eat. So it's and when you love somebody.
You are.
So it's gonna, I hate cleaning and I hate cooking for us.
Yeah, sure.
I don't mind doing it for somebody else.
Yeah,
it was great doing it for you guys today. But
And we appreciate that.
And no, you're not all invited over for dinner.
no.
Right.
Aaron, can I take 1 second to stand up? I'd like to grab the award and show
Absolutely.
the Armen Award to everybody.
Absolutely. Please do.
Yeah, this is a beautiful piece. I'm assuming you were involved with that. You made a wonderful choice.
Those that know Jan and I know that we've always kind of been into crystal, but this piece is absolutely, can I?
There you go.
There's a plaque that it sits on, but it's absolutely gorgeous. The cobalt blue and it's a teardrop. It represents the flame of the college, I'm assuming, right? Yeah, but it's a teardrop cobalt blue. It is just absolutely gorgeous. I don't know how it's showing on.
Yeah.
Is it showing good?
It's great. Yeah.
What an honor. What an honor.
Yeah. And that I will dust without any concern.
Oh, good.
Just
Well,
absolutely.
Jerry and Jan, thank you for playing along, taking us down memory lane. You both always have been such an inspiring couple in many ways through the good that you do, the fun that you have with each other, and the people that you are. So thank you. And with that, I will turn it back over to Kathy to wrap it up for the evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
Yes.
Okay. I'm good, yes? Yeah, okay.
You-
Between the, between the video and the interview questions down memory lane, it's inspiring to see the fact that there is so many likenesses between you and Armen. And so the fact that you were given this award is pretty awesome. Armen would be the first one to say, it doesn't matter how much you give, just give. And it doesn't matter how much you give, you will get more from that gift than you ever could have imagined than spending it on dinner. You will get more personally from that. And the fact that Las Vegas, I heard plenty of stories from Armen about he and his wife would go to Las Vegas.
Sure.
And how much fun he had, which I don't know if you read, it looks like Las Vegas is opening back up June 4th. So, so maybe, okay, you did hear, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, great. But from my perspective, I think about, Jan, when you said your favorite time at the college was in the 80s, I think there are a lot of us that would agree the 80s were pretty awesome. A lot of good stuff happened in the 80s because we got to feel what it was like simpler, and we got to step into this world that was completely new for all of us. And the college, particularly in that the two of you have seen a ton of history, and everything that we see today on our campus is because of the work that you all did in the 80s. So thank you for that too. We are blessed to have the two of you at the foundation, to have so many of the retirees that we know that are on this call today. And, when you talk about, I couldn't have scripted you better than what you did when you talked about what it means to give and planned giving and things like that. And it's for me, it's such a gift to know that we have individuals that were part of this institution and that still live in our community, that still care so much about our students and this college. And the two of you represent that so incredibly well. We are just, I'm blessed to have been able to work with you, and we are blessed, and this college will be blessed in perpetuity because of the work that you've done and established from way back when. And 41 years is a long time. And to be married 50 years, congratulations.
Thank you.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Most people nowadays aren't even married 41 years. So.
Yeah.
So you've already two huge milestones there.
The year.
Yeah. So just thank you so very much. Do you have any final comments that you'd like to make?
Go ahead. We just want to thank everyone that's out there. We can't see you, but we know you're there. We feel you're there. I can feel my neighbor Paula across the street staring over in our window. No, it's a blessing, and we are so honored. And the Armen's family that's joined us today, we can't thank you enough for what he's done, and we're proud to own part of that at this point. So God bless all of you. Take care. Stay safe. Stay healthy, and stay at home more.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. And thank you to everybody who's participated today. I hope you enjoyed it. Know that it was recorded, so we'll be able to send the recording out after today's event. So you can take a look at that, and Jan and Jerry, so you can see the comments and you can see who did log in and was with you today. I know that I laughed out loud a ton, and I'm sure everybody on the call did too today. So thank you so much. I hope everyone has a great day. And Jerry, you want to finish up with your tagline?
Yours in food, Jerry and Jan.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We're all staring.
Are we off?
asleep.
There we go. Oh, wow. I did it.